Here are they.
On the news today. There's no sugar in that.
Is it not?
I'll go do the sugar.
I stirred it in, but just obviously didn't put it in. I thought, oh, well, I better make
The
sure
stirring counts.
Oh, I got halfway there. There's your opening scene. There's no sugar in there. Hi everyone, Liam Richard here from Crossaxle, and it's another Coffee and Chairs. So, what have we got this week, Rich?
Okay, there's a few things I've been looking at. The first thing I want to kind of like touch on is our kind of like love for watches.
Mm-hmm.
I know most people, or not most people, but some people have bigger budgets than we do, but we still love watches.
Oh yeah.
So give a bit of a shout out to Mr. Omologato watches. Hopefully there'll be one on the wrist soon.
Well yeah, a bit of luck.
But for old Crimbo, I got a present from my mother.
Oh,
which
it's in a Porsche bag, so that starts off well.
Porsche box. So this is from the Porsche collection.
He's such a fanboy.
Yeah, I can afford a watch. Well, I didn't buy the watch, but so we have the Porsche collection watch. I don't know if we
Very
can see
nice.
this.
Oh, look at that.
Focus. But yeah, so that's kind of like not necessarily my first watch, but I have a few Casio watches. This is my first nice.
That's your first
watch.
very nice watch.
Yeah. So hopefully we can start adding a few more. And,
Yeah, well that's it. I mean, I can't walk past the jewellers without stopping to look at watches and get dragged away by the other half.
I have a proper fetish for Tag Heuer.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's going to be a purchase at some point.
Excellent. Well, very nice. So yes, the first of many, shall we hope.
So one of the first points I wanted to kind of like not talk about but raise is it's coming up for car season now.
It is.
And last weekend I went to Donington Park, which I don't know the name of the actual event, but it was the Garage 39 breakfast meetup. And it was really busy. There was tons of cars. If you follow us on Instagram, I've been posting a few pictures and there'll be plenty more. I'll probably add a few in here actually, make it more interesting, because last time we had some feedback to say put some pictures in, because then people can see what we're talking about.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. But yeah, obviously that's something we're looking forward to.
Yeah, there's a lot of events. We'll definitely get over to Cafe and Machine again.
Definitely.
Because their Instagram feed is manic.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of people dropping in there. And
Well, since we've been going to the different shows and we've been meeting all these people, I see Caffeine and Machine so much now. And there's always Porsche events.
we'll have to do one of these then.
Also, the guy I bought the posters from,
Yep.
the Motive, he's just been speaking to them, and apparently he might have something there. So
Oh, cool.
look forward to seeing that as well. That's pretty cool.
Excellent.
But yeah, so a couple of things that I'm looking forward to this year is I really want to go to Goodwood Festival of Speed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about you. I know it's on for 4 days, but
It is,
that's
it
going to
is.
be a bit of a hard task. So maybe one, or
Yeah,
I might even stay over. I don't know.
I'd say I have to look up the dates. Can't remember when they were. I did look it up at the end of the week.
July-ish time. I
Yeah,
think.
it's
Yeah.
it's in the warmer season.
Yeah. Well, I'd quite like to go to 2 actually. The Goodwood Festival of Speed and the Revival.
Ah, the revival. See, everyone likes a revival.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have to dress up, which is a pain in the butt.
Well, what?
Yeah. I'm a 1940s.
Hoodie and lumberjack shirt, not enough.
Yeah. Well, it's 1940s attire, so.
There you go.
But yeah, so looking forward to that. And also, if you know of any car events, then please let us know. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, we're happy to come along where we can and support the event and meet people.
Yeah, because the one at Nottingham, Junction 27, Car Cafe, looking forward to that as well.
Cool.
They seem to be posting some nice cars going. And
Excellent. We're only next weekend. We'll have a look.
There is actually. I can't remember which one it is.
That's right. We're looking at.
There's also. I'm a member of the Porsche Club. I don't know if anyone knows.
You may have mentioned it.
They're having an open day on the first weekend of March.
East Midlands sort of chapter.
No, their head office.
Oh right.
I think it's. I don't know where it is actually. Cotswolds, I think.
Oh okay. That's not too far.
I don't know. So I don't know if that's something we might be interested in, or at least I might.
Could
definitely
well
go,
be.
but
When was that?
I think it's the first weekend of March.
Okay. I have to have a look at that. Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might work. Anyway.
Yeah, so they're having an open weekend, but obviously it's 2 days, so we could just go for an afternoon, and we could always come back via Cafe de Machine.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Anyway, so again, there's a few different things we've seen. First one is the Macan, Porsche Macan. So sticking with the Porsche thing,
yeah.
Porsche Macan, they've just released a brand new 2019 version, and I happen to have a picture. One is the older one and one is the newer one. I don't know if you can spot it. I'll put a picture up on the thing here. But what's your thoughts? One's new, one's the old.
Well, when you first showed me this picture, I got them the wrong way around. So that should tell you everything you need to know about which is new and which is old.
The laziest design team in the world.
For some reason, I don't know why, they've removed the side repeater of the indicator.
I don't know if that.
I don't know if that's
one's an American car. Or,
yeah, see, it's hard to tell until we see the proper specs.
Yeah, because I know in America this is something that they have to have.
Yeah, it's a legal requirement.
Yeah.
So,
so again, I'm not sure if one's UK, one's American.
It could be. I mean, that's German registered.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, the designer sort of sat down with it, probably charged them a lot of money. He drew a line across the grille. What else has he done? Not a lot. He's changed some of the corner edge of the bumper. So basically, you've got to swap out the bumper on your older 2017 Macan.
The light any different? It looks slightly different. It looks like it might be
LEDs
or something.
Yeah, although I think
they
those
look
are
like
LED or HID. Anyway.
I don't know if they were like by Xenon.
Could be. We'd have to check the specs. But yeah, if you've got an older Macan, order yourself the new bumper, and you're good to go by the looks of it. Obviously, we're only going on the exterior. There could be a lot of interior changes, could be engine changes that we haven't picked up on just yet. But as the exterior goes, new bumper, good to go.
So, the other news is Honda closing down the Swindon plant, or effectively closing down the Swindon.
Yeah, they've announced there's a high probability that by 2022 it will be closed. Affecting 3,500 workers there and 3,500 workers in the supply chain. Even
if they don't close it down, that is a scary thought.
It's scary, even if you're in the supply chain or one of the workers. At this point, you're going to be considering your options, thinking about where you may want to be, and looking elsewhere. And Honda have got a lot of loyal staff. A lot of people have been there for a long time. You know, I mean, Swindon pumps out 160,000 Civics a year. Yeah. That's a lot of cars. Yeah. And they haven't seemingly cited a main reason for it. There's lots of rumours and conjecture floating around on the internet if you read it. Some will say it's Brexit, some will say it's because of diesels, some will say it's because of electrification. There's a few reasons it could be, and it could just be a perfect storm of other reasons. I would like to think they can turn it around. But it must be scary if you work there. So thoughts go with anyone employed by Honda, because
it doesn't just affect the people working at Honda; it affects the families, and
that's it.
It's a knock-on effect of
that's
all those
it.
Sort of things, as well.
So it's hopefully it's just a worrying announcement.
But with like all the new cars that seem to be coming out from Honda, you think they're doing quite well. So something's a bit strange.
It could be something as daft as you might find that something to do with Brexit has broken the camel's back, and they've just made the announcement now just because they were hanging in there and all of a sudden that's come on.
Or do you reckon that they're doing this as a, if you don't do this, we will do this, we will pull out? And
no, I mean...
Because they must make millions or bring in millions from that plant. So
they would
if we were to lose that as an industry in this country, that's going to be a massive...
That's going to be a chunk of the GDP.
Yeah.
So, who knows? You know, I mean,
about a third of the Civics built there, I think, are exported to the EU. So that's a lot. Yeah. And if each one of those all of a sudden gets a tariff imposed, that could be what made them reconsider. I don't know. I know Porsche now saying that anyone that's ordered a Porsche in the UK now, you might be subject to a 10% surcharge on it in the event of a no-deal Brexit or a negative Brexit. So there's a lot of... it's the whole... You've got to try and read between the lines of the news. Even with the best intention in the world from decent sources, there's going to be misrepresentation along the line or supposition. I mean, we're only making supposition as best as we can. But
when I was at the car show on the weekend, the Donington Garage 39, one of the guys I was speaking to actually was saying that a lot of the cars, they've had to go through more regulations and they have to tell everyone the new listings for like fuel and emissions, and so a lot of cars, like some of the cars have come off websites purely because they haven't filed the things for the emissions things. So that's another...
There's lots going on. I mean, Dieselgate, and I'm sure it wasn't just VW behind it. There were probably other manufacturers that were just as guilty that we just don't know about. Dieselgate's caused a lot of problems for manufacturers because now they're under so much scrutiny. They have to, and rightly so, really. They've got to make sure that everything's done by the book, because all the other manufacturers are looking at the money that VW spent getting themselves out of Dieselgate. And there's still many lawsuits. There's a big, massive class action lawsuit being pulled together in the UK, and I believe there's one in the States as well, that could still cost VW a lot of money. So, it's be interesting to see. So I think now all manufacturers, when it comes to emissions and specs, they're all having to make sure they're whiter than white and everything they say is achievable and is accurate.
Crazy. So something that I've been watching YouTube videos off the back of that, I guess, is there's cars in America that seem to be getting court orders for removing modifications and especially loud exhaust. And there's a couple of places and videos that I've watched where they have exhaust limits in the UK as well, especially in London. Do you reckon... There's a massive modified car scene, and we go to shows and stuff. Do you reckon that's something that's going to be brought in more? And especially now that we seem to be getting smaller engines and turbos, and the engine's notes seem to be different, and like all these different rules and regulations, and we're going electric. And do you reckon all these things are being imposed because of this?
Socially, people are always conscious of noise and things like that, and there are already noise restrictions and limits on cars, but they're not that heavily enforced normally. I think on the MOT it says, does exhaust make excessive noise? So people with motorbikes or sports cars with loud boxes normally swap it out for the MOT. I've known people do that.
Number plates.
And moving the fake number or the poorly arranged number plates and all the rest of it, because the police don't have the resources to enforce this. So I think, like you've mentioned with London, it's going to become more of a zone type thing where it's not just the police who will enforce it. You'll just get a bill off a traffic warden for want of a better description or something. You might even find there a warden's going to be walking around with decibel meters that will basically say, sorry, you're too loud.
It's just one of the videos I watched in America again. One of the guys got a $1,000 fine for an exhaust being too loud.
Yeah.
So I can see that kind of thing coming into this country.
On the spot fines won't surprise me. And America as well, obviously very state. So of course a car that could be perfectly legal in one state, all of a sudden isn't in the next state. I don't know their rules on registrations, because you watch a lot of YouTube channels or car shows. Quite often you've got people that go out for a test drive or whatever in a car they've just built or bought, no license plates on it, nothing. So are they breaking the law doing that, or is there a law that means they can do that? Whereas over here, you go for a drive without a license plate on, you're immediately liable.
Well, they have a sticker in the window, don't they? When you buy a car, you get a certain amount of time in America that says this car is registered and whatever. So if you've got this sticker visible, especially in, I think in California in some of the videos, you can get away with not having the number plate.
Yeah,
but
for a
after
short
that,
time.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's that sort of thing.
But that seems to be more and more of a thing creeping into this country as well. The amount of cars at the show that I saw that kind of like didn't have a number plate, or they were in the windscreen.
Yeah, there's again, it's down to enforcement, because
it looks better without.
You know, a Lamborghini Huracan looks stupid with a front number plate, but it's a legal requirement. And Aston Martin, you know, they're lovely cars, but they need the number plate there. And it's interesting. I actually had a conversation with someone on Twitter on YouTube about it. Be interesting to see how your insurance stacks up if you're involved in an incident, and if the adjuster finds out you didn't have a front number plate on. Are they then going to turn around and say, sorry, you're not covered, it wasn't roadworthy, we'll cover the third party, but you're Aston Martin, sorry mate.
But then there's all the other things, like I keep telling you about drones and stuff, and people, especially in the car scene, seem to be doing these really nice drone footage, but some of them seem to be pushing the boundaries of what's safe and what's legal. And
oh yeah, all the time. There's two reasons for drone flights being taken that are illegal. There's ignorance, which again is no defence in the law, but there is ignorance. People just don't know what the regulations are, they don't know what they can and can't do. And then there's the other one where you get the attitude that I'm going to do this because no one who's going to stop me. If someone comes along and tells me not to, then I will. And that's it. And because I've actually talked to one of the senior people in the UAS section of the CAA about this, and about enforcement, because obviously it's down to the police to enforce the air navigation order. But because of the way, at the moment, if you borrow my car, go past the speed camera, I'll get a summons through the door, and it will say I can either I have the points or I need to identify who the driver was at the time. That's in legislation. You have to do that. That's the rules. Whereas at the moment, there's no power. The police can't enforce. Go to someone, say, you've got a video of an illegal drone flight on YouTube. Who flew that drone? There's no enforcement there for them to say, you've got to tell us. You can say, don't know.
But then, since things like the Gatwick closed down and whatever, I can see that coming in straight away.
Registration's coming later in the year.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's not a problem. They've just expanded operational restrictions around airports. Again, if you're there legally and you're where you need to be, that's not a problem. But again, until drones carry transponders, ADS-B systems or whatever, so that air traffic control can look on their radar and think, that craft's there, that craft's there. Until they've got that, even with registration, unless they get the craft, they're not going to know who owns it anyway. And as we've said all along, where the Gatwick drone, because again, no photos, no video, no nothing, flew and operated, was already in a no-fly zone.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a DJI craft, or not a more recent one, because it would have needed unlocking. So it was either hacked craft or made by a third party or another manufacturer, Unique or Parrot or whoever, or invisible. So there's lots of, I mean, that's still under investigation. I actually know someone who's helping the police investigate it. He's a drone operator that works with the police on a lot of things. So there's a lot still that we don't know. But at the car meets, I know the police are starting to go and visit them when they're in car parks and things like that, and stop them flying, because you'll get them there go and meet in Sainsbury's car park on a Sunday evening. And
but it's not just that though. It's like also when people leave a car meet, there's that element of wheel spin and being daft and whatever. So that kind of like spoils it for other people that are going to see the beautiful cars, because then if the police start coming down, then that will then stop people going to places, because especially families.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just get that element going that has to wheel spin and has to do daft things. And
Yeah, I think if it was a case that people were just meeting in B&Q's car park on a Sunday evening, get 50 car enthusiasts or whatever, and they were just there being polite, having a look around each other's cars and looking at the shiny engines and whatever floats their boat, and then leaving in a polite, quiet manner, nothing stupid, then the car park owners would probably not be bothered. They would probably just leave it. But because of lots of noise, complaints, wheel spinning, litter being left and things like that, this is why a lot of car parks are blocked off at night. And you will see on some of the groups, they changed the location at the last minute on the Facebook page or on Twitter, because literally the car park they were going to use has now got a barrier, so they can't get in out of hours, so they had to go and do another one.
Well, look at the one we went to at Newark Showground. The police turned up because of people complaining, and they weren't actually from the car show. They were from the
that was it. There was we were at the
gearheads
of the ground at Newark. And the police turned up to find out who had been making the noise, and it turns out it was a group of idiots, for want of a better description, that left the go-kart track over the road and just wheel spun and raced off down the road in their own cars. They were nothing to do with the show, but obviously because
there was a car show,
there was a car show in the wrong place at the wrong time, that's what happened. So
crazy. So, as regards to this kind of feature, we mentioned it before about what it could be, what we could do, what we can feature. There's a couple of things that I was thinking of. One of them could be the £10 Amazon challenge. So we challenge each other, we say £10, something car related, gadget wise. We obviously can vlog it, buying it or whatever, and then we can come here and kind of like show it and so the other thing we can do is like do virtual car budget. So we set a budget, say like £2,000, £4,000, £10,000, whatever, and go off and find a car that we think would be cool for that budget. Whether it's something that we're interested in, or whether it's something that we think could be a future classic, or I don't know. We could work that bit out.
We could almost do it along the lines of, right, here's the virtual budget this week is £4,000. But you've got to pick a future classic, or you've got to pick an off-road SUV, or make it a bit more of a challenge from that point of view.
So it can be fun, or it can be serious, or whatever. But I just thought that was something else that could be another series or another part of this, just to kind of spice things up and do something a bit different. But is there anything else you kind of want to talk about?
One more bit for consumer advice. Do you want to save fuel in your car?
Well,
do you want to have a more economical driving experience? Then
my
I have the answer for you.
My car's pretty economical.
Yours is pretty fairly economical, but not everyone's got an economical car. So what you can do for $2.99 on eBay, you can buy an Eco OBD2 plug-in chip. You plug it into your onboard diagnostics, and what it does is absolutely nothing. It's a waste of money. It claims to save you 15% on your fuel.
$2.99.
$2.99 on eBay. Although if you go to the official website, they're $75 each.
Oh, right. If you were paying $75, you'd think it would do something.
Well,
$2.99. I think it's one of those daft stocking fillers.
Yeah, well, this is. It's claims to save 15%. However, if you visit on YouTube, Dave at the EEV vlog recently, he bought one, pulled it apart, analysed it, and basically it flashes LEDs at you and drains your battery. Does nothing because it doesn't even talk to the car. The car doesn't know it's there, it doesn't care. And it doesn't talk to the car. The chip on it isn't really connected to anything, doesn't receive any signals, so it's a gimmick. Do not waste your money. Want to save money? The most economical thing you can do to save money driving is to just drive with walk. It's to bum a lift of someone else. No, best thing to do is just change your driving habits. Drive a little less heavy on the right foot and a little less heavy on the brakes.
Boring.
But you get all these magic boxes. There are some remaps you can get by proper companies like Live Tuning, and various other ones who will save you money.
Yeah.
They will make it more economical and get you a bit more power. But these funny little plug-it-in, do-it-yourself things seldom work, and if anything, could potentially do some damage to your car if you don't know what they're doing to the ECU.
That's actually quite funny because, again, I watched a YouTube video where someone had bought a Porsche GT2 RS, and just with a simple retune or remap or whatever, it's gone from the standard 700 brake horsepower to 850 brake horsepower. So why didn't Porsche do that originally, and why didn't they do that when they did the Nürburgring record? Because they would have got an even faster record time.
Sometimes, and I can't speak for all manufacturers here, sometimes the reason they will have it set is because it needs to run on various qualities of fuel. You know, Land Rover's mapping used to vary a bit from region to region, but you could still remap a TD5, and you can remap the TD4s, TD6s, and the S. You can remap them and get more power and better economy out of most of them. But they kind of normally they program for a safe middle ground, the one that doesn't stress the engine too much, that isn't going to potentially burn too much fuel. It's a balancing act between fuel, power, and engine longevity. And sometimes as well, you get people that are just brilliant at retuning, and they will drag every horsepower they can out of an engine. And a lot of the time, the retuning has to come in hand with, you know, different intercoolers or turbo tweaks. And again, it's also a cost thing. In the factory, that ECU goes into 100,000 cars in a year, so it needs to be this standard. Whereas if they could individually remap each car as to what the owner requires, you know, you might want more power, I might want more economy. There's different, everyone's slightly different, so they just go for a middle ground normally.
But a GT2 RS with 850 horsepower.
Yeah, but also I wonder in that situation how much stress that is actually putting on the engine. If that map would work on a non-run-in engine, you know, how would it affect the longevity there? You know, it's an interesting thing, and maybe something we should try and do a feature on remaps and what can be done. So consumer advice: if you see it on eBay or you think it's too good to be true, don't buy it. You'd just be wasting your money and potentially damaging your engine.
But send us a link.
Yeah, send us a link because we're having a look at it. But we'll put links up to this thing anyway, and you can have a look yourself. But if you believe for $2.99 on eBay you're going to save 15% on your fuel, then
Yeah, but it's on eBay, it must be right.
oh yeah, because you never buy anything dodgy on eBay, do you?
It's like Google. Anything on Google, it's fact.
Oh, is that how? Oh, see, I've been
Yeah.
doing it wrong with you. I've been fact checking stuff all
That
these
is
years.
exactly what I've been told. Everything you Google is 100% fact and correct. You could take it to the bank, take it to the lawyer. Correct.
I've got some videos I should show you in that case. They're called debunks.
But anyway, that's the news.
Yes. Anyway, thank you for joining us this time, and we'll see you for the next Coffee and Chairs.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah,
See which one's not working.
no, that's working.
Which one's
That's
stopped.
working.
So, anyway, start again.
That wasn't a very good clap.
Outtakes.
Very much. It's coffee now as well. Right.
There's the tea.
There's a spike. Got a spike.
Right.